This video features review items for board licensure examination for professional teachers focusing on general education English subject. Question 67. Communication in the workplace primarily involves system of managing the flow of communication within an organization. The following are the directions in which communication flow in an organization except for one. Answer B. Vertical communication. In an organization, there is some system for structuring who will communicate with whom. These systems are called communication networks. These are regular patterns of person-to-person relationships through which information flows in an organization. Two kinds of networks exist: formal and informal communication. Informal communication refers to the patterns of interaction based on friendship, shared personal or career interest, and proximity between networks. On the other hand, formal communication networks are systems designed by management to dictate who should talk to whom to get a job done. Communication in an organization only has three directions: horizontal, downward, and upward. Downward and upward communications already address the flow of vertical communication. Question 68. This direction of organizational communication occurs whenever superiors initiate messages to their subordinates. Several types of this include job instructions, job rationale, feedback, etc. Answer C. Downward communication. Communication in an organization has three directions: horizontal, downward, and upward. Downward communication occurs whenever a superior initiates messages to their subordinates. Several types of downward communication includes job instruction, job rationale, procedures and practices, feedback, and indoctrination. Potential benefits include prevention or correction of employee error, great job satisfaction, and improved morale. Potential problems include insufficient or unclear messages, messages overload, and message distorted as it passes through one or more intermediaries. Question 69. In this direction of organizational communication, messages flow from subordinates to superiors. Many leading businesses attribute their success to the emphasis on this direction of organizational communication. Answer D. Upward communication. Messages flowing from subordinates to superiors are labeled upward communication. Upward communication can convey four types of messages: what subordinates are doing, unsolved work problems, suggestions for improvement, and how subordinates feel about each other and the job. These messages can benefit both subordinates and superiors, and this explains why one survey showed that organization members find upward communication to be most important in satisfying kind of on-the-job interaction. Potential benefits include prevention of new problems and solution of old ones, and increased acceptance of management decision. Potential problems include superior may discourage, disregard, or downplay importance of subordinates' messages. Supervisors may unfairly blame subordinates for unpleasant news. Question 70. This type of organizational interaction is also called lateral communication, which consists of messages between members of an organization with equal power. Answer A. Horizontal communication. A third type of organizational interaction is horizontal communication, sometimes called lateral communication. It consists of messages between members of an organization with equal power. The most obvious type of horizontal communication goes on between members of the same division of an organization, office workers in the same department, co-workers on a construction project, and so on. In other cases, lateral communication occurs between people from different areas. Question 71. According to Goldhaber 1993, horizontal communication serves 5 purposes. Which of the following purposes of horizontal communication does the sentence below adheres to? Answer: B. Problem solving. Among the choices, the most suitable answer is B. Problem solving. Letter A. Task coordination is a possible answer, but there is no particular task mentioned in the sentence and it talks more about the general process of executing tasks. Letter C. Conflict resolution might also be an answer, but based on the second sentence, how can we speed things up? Speaker imperatively implies that their system apparently works but would only want to hasten the process. Letter D. Building rapport is very much unlikely the answer since the context of the utterance is very much far from it. Question 72. Which of the following utterances is not an example of messages conveyed in upward communication? Answer: D. When you restock the shelves, put the new merchandise behind the old stock. Sentence A is an example of an utterance indicating what subordinates are doing. Sentence B is an example of an utterance expressing unsolved problems at work. Sentence C is an example of an utterance subordinates express feeling about each other and the job. Sentence D is an example of a downward communication where superiors are giving job instructions. Question 73. This refers to a two-party conversation in which at least one person has a specific serious purpose. This is mostly structured and has several distinct phases and always involves some sort of question and answer format. Answer: B. Interview. Interview is a two-way conversation in which at least one person has a specific serious purpose. This definition makes it clear that interviewing is a special kind of conversation, different from other types in several ways. Most important, interviewing is always purposeful. Unlike more spontaneous conversations, an interview includes at least one participant who has a serious, predetermined reason for being there. Interviews are also more structured than most conversations. Every good interview has several distinct phases and always involves some sort of question and answer format. Question 74. A highly scheduled interview consists of a standardized list of questions. In most extreme form, it even specifies their precise wording and the order in which are asked. Which of the following is not true about the preparation for a highly scheduled interview? Answer: D. High flexibility and exploring responses. The following are the characteristics of highly scheduled interview. Usually takes less time, easier for interviewing to control, provides quantifiable results, requires less skill by the interviewer, and low flexibility in exploring responses. On the other hand, non-scheduled interview usually takes more time, more difficult for the interviewer to control, results more difficulty to quantify, requires high degree of interviewer skill, and high flexibility in exploring responses. Question 75. Which of the following utterances is an example of an open question in an interview? Answer: B. Start at the beginning and tell me about the problem. As compared with the other questions which require exact answers from the interviewee, choice B lets the interviewee to explore more about the problem. Question 76. This type of question in an interview tempts the respondents to answer in one way. They frequently suggest answer the interviewer expects. Answer: B. Leading questions. From the term itself, leading questions are tools for interviewer to lead the interviewee to an expected answer. Question 77. This type of question in an interview seeks the respondent's answer to what-if question. They can be a useful way of indirectly getting a respondent to describe beliefs or attitudes. Answer: B. Hypothetical question. Hypothetical questions are a useful way of learning how people would respond in certain situations. There may be no guarantee that hypothetical answers will reflect person's real behavior, but their specificity and realism can give strong clues. Question 78. Which of the following utterances is an example of an indirect question in an interview? Answer: C. I hear you've been unhappy with our service. What's the problem? As the other questions require definite or exact answers, they are considered direct questions. Question 79. When should you not use an open question in an interview? Answer: C. To maintain the control over conversation. Open interviews are used in the following situations: to relax the interviewee, to discover the interviewee's opinion, to explore the interviewee's possession of information, and to discover the interviewee's feelings or values. On the other hand, closed questions are used to maintain control over the conversation, when specific information is needed and you are not interested in the interviewee's feelings or opinions, when time is short, when the interviewer is not highly skilled, when high degree of standardization between the interviews is important. Question 80. This refers to any form of focused conversation in an organization that has a specific agenda, especially but not only if it has been set up in advance. The keywords focused conversation will only lead you to two possible answers, B. Interview or C. Meeting. But since there is this keyword agenda, this definitely refers to meetings. Question 81. According to Adler and Elmhorst 1999, in most business and professional settings, meetings fall into the following categories except one. Answer: C. Project presentations and approval. Project presentations or project proposals are generally regarded as a separate gathering different from meetings in a sense that the goal is to scrutinize the presentations and proposals as compared to meetings where specific agenda relative to company procedures are discussed. Question 82. In some meetings, a group may decide to take some action or make a change in existing policies or procedures. Which of the following categories of meeting does this idea adhere to? Answer: D. Problem solving or decision making. Because of the keywords decide and change, we are given the idea that the context of the meeting is a problem solving or decision making context. Question 83. In a concluding meeting, the following steps may be done except. Answer: D. Encourage participation. Letter D. Encourage participation is obviously the answer, as encouraging participation is more appropriate when the meeting is about to start or still on its course. If you are about to end the meeting, you would not encourage participation but would rather do the first three choices. Question 84. In beginning a meeting, the following steps may be done except. Answer: C. Promise to deal with good ideas later. Letter C is a step which may be applied during the course of the meeting to keep the discussion on track.